You know that moment when you wake up and try to focus on your day, but suddenly he pops into your head again? You don't even know why. He doesn't talk to you anymore. Sometimes he disappeared a long time ago, and yet he's still there. Like he's living in a quiet corner of your mind. It feels like there's something more, something you can't explain. An invisible thread still pulsing, even without messages, calls, or presence. And then comes that question. Is this just nostalgia, or does he feel it too? Is the universe trying to tell me something? And more than anything, why can't I just move on? If you're going through this, take a deep breath. You're not crazy. There is an explanation for this. And there is a way to shift the energy. What you're feeling could be a mix of an energetic bond, emotional patterns, and even unconscious manifestation. But more than anything, it's a signal not about him, but about you. So today, we're going to unpack this simply, clearly, and powerfully. We'll look at what Carl Jung said about energy, focus, and vibration, not in complex psychology terms, but in real language that actually helps. Because it's time to understand what that guy in your head is really trying to show you. And more importantly, what that says about you. If this already feels like the message you needed to hear, leave a like and subscribe. It helps me keep creating this kind of content for you. Now let's dive in. The reality behind what you're feeling. There are things we feel that we can't easily explain. You try to stay busy, distract yourself, go out, talk to other people, but somehow he comes back. And no matter how much time has passed or how many times you've tried to forget, the feeling remains. Like there's an invisible thread pulling your thoughts toward him. But let me tell you something important. This isn't just nostalgia, and it doesn't automatically mean he's your soulmate. What's really happening here is a matter of focus. Where you place your attention, you place your energy. And that, according to Carl Jung, is the foundation of how we create our reality. So if you're constantly thinking about him, even if he's nowhere near your life anymore, you're still feeding that energetic connection. Not out of weakness, but out of habit, emotion, intensity. And energy is not neutral. It vibrates, it creates, it attracts. Sometimes you think about someone so much that you start to feel like they're thinking about you too, even with no real sign. And sometimes that's not wrong. When two people share intense moments, there can be an energy exchange that lingers long after the words stop. But here's the question you need to ask yourself. Is that thought a real connection, or is it just a reflection of a space inside you that hasn't been filled yet? So many people confuse emotional attachment with intuition. They think that strong feelings mean destiny, that longing means something deep, but not always. Sometimes it's just your mind looking for comfort, for familiarity, for a feeling it once knew, even if it wasn't healthy. That's why it's so important to ask, what exactly is keeping me tied to this thought? Because without that clarity, you can get trapped in a cycle, one that doesn't take you forward. It just keeps you spinning in the same emotional loop. Now pause for a second and imagine this. What if you could send one message, just one, that awakens something real in him? A message that makes him unable to stop thinking about you, no matter where he is or what he's doing. In my exclusive ebook, 90 Magnetic Messages, you'll learn how to create real attraction and deep emotional connection, not through exhausting mind games, but through authentic, irresistible communication. If you're ready to transform your conversations and shift the dynamic, click the link in the comments and get started. But for now, let's return to the question that matters most. Is it really about him or about what he represented in your life? Sometimes what hurts isn't losing the person. It's losing the feeling you had when you were with them. That spark, that safety, that sense of being seen. And when that feeling goes missing, your mind tries to recreate it as if thinking hard enough could bring it back. But the past doesn't return. Not like that. And the energy you keep investing in someone who's already walked away again and again is the same energy you should be investing in yourself. There's one truth almost no one talks about, but it changes everything. Thinking about someone all the time is not necessarily a sign of a spiritual connection. It can be a pattern, a signal, a mirror. And when you understand what your own mind is really asking for, you finally stop chasing and start reclaiming your power, your energy, your peace. Let's keep going. It could be that your mind is simply trying to repeat what it already knows, because the brain loves the familiar, even when the familiar is a little painful. It would rather replay what's known than face the emptiness of the unknown. And here's the trap so many people fall into. Are you truly trying to manifest this man back into your life? Or are you just reliving an emotional cycle that never properly ended? There's a huge difference between manifesting and holding on. Manifesting is light, conscious, intentional. It carries trust. Holding on is heavy. It's a loop. Nostalgia turns into lack. Desire turns into attachment. Carl Jung once said, our thoughts trigger our emotions, and those emotions create a chemistry in the body we can become addicted to, which means you might not be addicted to him at all, but to the emotional chemistry your mind associated with him. That's why, even after he's gone, your body still craves that feeling. That's why the thoughts persist, because every time you think of him, you activate the emotion your body has learned to desire. Breaking the cycle. The most powerful way to break that cycle is to ask yourself honestly, what do I actually feel when I think about him? If the answer is distress, anxiety, fear of losing, or emptiness, that's not manifestation. That's repetition. It's your body trying to relive something that's already over, simply because it doesn't yet know how to feel safe in something new. But the moment you start to feel peace while imagining something healthy, light, and new, that's when you're truly beginning to manifest. Because you're no longer repeating what once hurt. You're creating what you truly want to experience. It all begins with emotional clarity. And clarity only comes when you truly choose to listen to yourself. The real law of attraction. When people hear law of attraction, they imagine thinking positively, making a request to the universe, and waiting. But the truth is, attraction happens all the time, not with what you want, but with what you vibrate. That's the secret. It's useless to want a lighthearted love if deep down you're still vibrating with the anxiety of wanting to be chosen. It's no use asking for a true relationship if you're still vibrating with the insecurity of not feeling enough. The law of attraction isn't about forcing reality to happen your way. It's about aligning yourself with what you want to experience. And alignment means becoming the version of you who's already ready for that love. Carl Jung put it simply, you don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. So you must begin feeling now what you want to live in the future. That requires presence, awareness, and a conscious decision. A powerful exercise. Imagine a relationship where you feel completely safe, deeply respected, and free to be yourself. Imagine it already exists. Don't give it a name, don't give it a face, just feel it. Let your body get used to this new emotional frequency. Because your body has to learn the feeling before it can see it. And when you start vibrating with that new energy of worthiness, lightness, and true love, you become magnetic. It's as if you turn into a natural magnet for everything that matches this new version of you. And then either he aligns with that frequency or he makes space for someone new who's more aligned with who you've become. The deeper truth. Most of the time, what we miss isn't the person. It's the way we wanted to be loved by them. But once you understand that, you stop searching for it in others. You start creating it within yourself. And when you begin to function from a place of awareness, presence, and clarity, the law of attraction simply responds. Not because you asked for it, but because you became it. But does he think about me too? This is a question so many people ask. And it's so human, so real. Because when we feel strong connection, even in silence, it's natural to wonder if the other person feels it too. And sometimes they do. Energy is a two-way street. When two hearts once vibrated intensely together, something can keep echoing for a while, even without direct contact. Sometimes it shows up in strange ways. You dream of him out of nowhere. You hear a song that feels like it's speaking directly about the two of you. You sense a sudden presence, as if he's near even though he's far away. These echoes are possible, but they're not a guarantee of destiny. They're signals of energy, and energy can be transformed. When he's still on your mind, turning emotional energy into power. Sometimes the signs do feel real. The dreams, the sudden memories, the way a song seems to speak directly about the two of you. And maybe they're real, but sometimes they're not signs from him. They're just your own energy searching for confirmation of something unresolved. Here's the thing though, even if he is thinking about you, what does that actually change? It doesn't change the fact that he's not here, not calling, not showing up. So instead of decoding the invisible, ask a different question. Don't ask, is he thinking of me? Ask, how do I feel when I think of him? Does the thought uplift you or drain you? Does it bring peace or anxiety? Does it inspire you or keep you stuck? Because the universe doesn't respond to what you hope for. It responds to what you vibrate. And when you stop chasing signs and start seeking clarity, everything changes. If it's meant to be, it will unfold effortlessly. If it's not, it will slowly move out of your path. What is truly yours will never demand that you lose yourself in the process of trying to understand someone. Real intuition versus emotional fear. Real intuition feels light, not desperate. Real connection brings peace, not confusion. So when you feel a constant pressure to know, to figure it all out, to get answers, chances are you're not in intuition. You're in fear. And fear distorts everything. What to do with a feeling that won't leave. So let's say you've realized, okay, maybe it's not really about him anymore. Maybe it's more about me. Now what? Because logically understanding something doesn't always help your heart. The heart doesn't have an off switch, but it does have direction. And the moment you choose where to send that energy, everything starts to shift. That feeling you're carrying, whether it's nostalgia, longing, hurt, confusion, or desire, is not a burden, it's energy. And energy, when left unprocessed, becomes a block. But when you embrace it and transform it, it becomes power. Feel it to free it. So the first thing you can do is stop fighting what you feel. Feeling is not weakness. It's raw material. And how you handle it determines whether it traps you or sets you free. A simple, powerful practice. Grab a piece of paper and write everything you want to say to him. Uncensored, unfiltered, unedited. Not to send, but to release. This gives your emotions a voice. It lightens the body. And often, it helps you hear your truth. Shift your focus from him to you. Next, shift the question from him to you. What do I need right now? What am I truly craving? What am I projecting onto his absence? Because so often, what we miss isn't the person, it's the version of ourselves we hope to be with them. But the real turning point is when you come back home to yourself. Tend to your own energy, your space, your light. See yourself. Listen to yourself. Love yourself. Because the stronger you become, the less you need anyone else to complete you. A visualization to shift your vibration. Here's a simple but powerful technique. Before bed, imagine yourself living a new chapter of your life. One where you are glowing with self-love, surrounded by light-hearted people, laughing easily, feeling safe. Create that scene vividly as if it's already happening. You don't need to give it a name or a face. Just feel it. Let your body get familiar with that frequency, because your body must learn how to feel it before it can truly live it. And when you begin to vibrate with that kind of energy, peace, joy, worthiness, you become magnetic. The kind of magnetic that doesn't chase. It attracts. And from that place, Either he rises to meet your new energy, or he steps aside, making space for someone even more aligned with who you truly are now. Let the feeling guide you, not define you. Look, the feeling might not disappear overnight, and that's okay. But when you change the direction it flows in, it stops hurting and starts guiding. It becomes a compass, not a cage. And remember, it's okay to have hard days. It's not about forcing yourself to be positive all the time. It's about honoring what you feel without letting it define your future. Feel it, but don't live there. Visit, then move forward. The art of true seduction. Now, here's where something magical happens. As you reconnect with yourself, as you listen, nurture, and see yourself again, your energy shifts. And suddenly, without even trying, you become more attractive. Not in a forced way. Not because you're seducing, but because you're radiating truth, presence, and confidence. That's what seduction really is. It's not about chasing, overexposing, or proving your worth. It's in the invisible. It's a woman who walks into the room and doesn't need to say a word, and still, everyone feels her. Because she's not trying to be noticed. She already knows who she is. A final reminder. Want a simple piece of advice? Protect your energy above all else. Nothing is more magnetic than a woman who feels good in her own skin, who doesn't beg for attention, but shines from the inside out. So stop asking if he's thinking about you. Start asking what you need to feel whole again. Because when you truly start becoming the version of you that you're meant to be, the right people can't help but find their way to you. Not because you asked for it, but because you became it. The power of choosing yourself. Second, value silence and mystery. Because mystery is magnetic. When you say everything, show everything, and chase after him, you give away your power. But when you stay centered, calm, and grounded without anxiety, you create space. And that space leaves the other person curious, engaged, and drawn to you. Let presence speak, not lack. Your presence is your introduction. If you show up with lightness, warmth, humor, and zero desperation, that's irresistible. Why? Because most people show up begging for validation. But you don't need that. And if you ever wonder whether he truly cares about you, don't listen to words. Watch his actions. A man who's genuinely interested will show it. He won't confuse you. He won't disappear. He won't play games. He'll move closer. He'll want to be around your energy. He'll make space for you because love doesn't hide. Real love doesn't struggle to fit. Real love feels natural. It flows, it fits, and if it doesn't, it's not yours, or it's not ready. Or more often than not, it's just making space for something even better. When you stop hiding behind the fear of losing, you finally let yourself be truly seen. And that's when it all shifts. There's no chasing, no forcing, no strategizing, just magnetism. Because authenticity will always be more attractive than any strategy. It's your choice always. In the end, it all comes down to a single powerful thing. Choice. Your choice. Because the moment you stop chasing answers in someone else and start truly listening to yourself, you realize something profound. It was never really about him. It was about you for you. It was about your attention turning inward, your self-love waiting to be awakened again. And there is nothing more seductive, more magnetic, or more powerful than a woman who chooses herself. The woman who chooses herself. She knows what she feels, but she doesn't drown in it. She acknowledges the connection, but doesn't lose herself to it. She can love deeply, but never forgets to love herself first. That woman doesn't beg for attention. She attracts it. She doesn't wait to be chosen. She chooses. She doesn't wait to be noticed. She shines. When you choose yourself, everything begins to align. People who don't match your frequency quietly fall away. Situations that once felt heavy begin to lose their grip, and the past starts to lose its weight. because now something stronger is guiding you. Your presence, your awareness, your decision to create something new. You don't need guarantees. You don't need external proof to believe the right love will come. You only need to stop abandoning yourself. Every time you respect your emotions, every time you hold yourself in difficult moments, every time you move forward with softness and strength, you are creating space for something real to arrive. And if the man still lingering in your thoughts is part of your path, he will return. But not because you waited, because you move forward with such truth and alignment that the universe brought the right moment to meet again. And if it's not him, it will be someone even better. Someone who truly sees you. Someone in the same rhythm, the same energy, the same depth of devotion you deserve. The real truth, in the end, is never really about him. It's always about you. When you choose yourself, everything changes. When you honor yourself, everything transforms. Because when you decide you deserve joy, light, and deep love, the universe responds. The magic doesn't come from controlling others. It comes from being so whole within yourself that only what aligns with your wholeness is allowed near. That is true freedom. Not needing anyone to be happy, but being open to sharing that happiness with someone who truly deserves your heart.